Hey everybody, it's me, Matty D with Intuitive Advising. And in this video, I'm going to discuss on why, and some people don't get, your score, your credit score, okay, is not, how do I say this? Not really that important. Well, no, that's not correct to say. It's important, but it's not just a score that you need to really get the things you want for life when it comes to your credit. Now, what do I mean by that? See, people can have a high credit score and still get denied. And why is that? How come you can have two people with the same credit score and yet one person will get approved and one person does not? And this is where I tell my clients at the end of the day, when it comes to credit, when it comes to the game of credit, it's about how you look on paper. The credit report itself is a secret. I got to the ending already. At this point, you're like, all right, I've got it. I'm gonna log off and call it a day. No, you have to understand that the score is just an indicator, or not an indicator. Your credit score is just a composite of the information that's on the different tiers of your credit report. Your credit report has 4 different tiers: personal information, your art inquiries, your accounts, public record. Okay. That's what makes up your score, and then obviously you have, your payment history, credit utilization, length credit history, mix of accounts, and any new accounts or inquiries. That all helps to makes up this 3-digit score, which then companies, lenders, and sometimes employers use, which I don't agree with, but whatever, use to then judge you or make a decision based on how of a good risk you are to taking out loans and money and all that stuff, right? And the thing is, I had a client this year who had a credit score in the 700s. You're thinking, wow, they should get approved. They should get approved for everything, right? Wrong. They couldn't get. They couldn't even get at the time a card, a Home Depot credit card, store credit card. Like, why is that? Well, when I looked in their account, they only had one trade line that was open, and some other negative items that had come off. Well, one primary trade line. I'm like, no wonder you're not getting approved. Your credit profile is thin. They did have other accounts, but they were closed. So you gotta understand that, like, if you want to get approved, you need to have at the bare minimum from 3 to 4 trade line primary accounts in your name. There's been credit cards, installment accounts. You need to have at least 3 to 4. Okay. If you have one, you need to build more, and you can do that. I'll put here in the description of the video a list of credit builders that you can use to go help build your credit for very cheap, for about $5 to $10 a month. I need you to understand this. It's about what's on your report, and this is why you have two people who have the same credit score, but one person gets approved and one person doesn't. You could have two people, let's use 700 because it's like the golden number that for whatever reason we've been sold that good credit counts at 700 and above. Whoever decided that, I don't know, but we all accepted it because we're not taught to question anything. But that's a whole different discussion for another day. So, two people both have 700 credit scores. Person A, person B. They go apply for stuff, but person A gets declined, person B gets approved. Why? Well, because in person A, they may have one account or two accounts, but those accounts are only 6 months old. So they will get turned down for having a thin credit profile and lack of credit history. I'm explaining this in a bit more. The other person, let's say the other person has 3 to 4 primary accounts in their name, and they've had those accounts for at least 2 years, right? They're getting approved because they have proven themselves over those 2 years to be responsible, pay people back on time, and they maintain accounts, and they have credit history. It's the reason why it's called credit history, and not so much focus on credit score. The history. What have you been doing in the past 6 months, a year? Actually, no, a year, 2 years, 5, 10. To show somebody who doesn't know you, because there's a lot of fraud and just digital, all this other crap going on, that says, hey, you can trust me with this money. Here's what I've done in the past with people who've given me money. All right? It's called history, and that's why your score isn't the determining factor. Now, there are places that will only need a certain score. Yes, but there's not a whole lot. End of the day, when your credit report gets scrutinized by somebody, they're going to see what makes up the score, and they're going to be like, well, all right, based on the report and what you got going on, and the other factors too, they'll give you this based on your income and other things. So you gotta understand that it's not just the score. If this is a score, dear God, like things would be, I don't know, things would be a hell of a lot different. They'd be like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Like, well, I could do this. But anyways, and let's talk about credit history. And I swear, man, if there's one part of the credit scoring algorithm that people have no clue about and just don't understand, it is length of credit history. Other than the fact that most people have no idea how your credit score grows, or the components of your credit score, length of credit history, I swear, is the least understood part and is the most mysterious, because there are people like, for example, Credit Karma, right? Credit Karma will tell you, and other credit monitors will tell you, say, hey, your credit history or age is, X amount of years. All right. And there are people who are like, yo, I've been building credit since I was 18, 25, whatever. Why is it saying that my credit history is only 3 years old, 4 years old? Because the length of credit history, which makes up 15% of your score, what that does, that looks at all the open accounts you have. Nothing that's closed, charged off, went to collections. Open accounts only. So again, only accounts that are still open, nothing that's been charged off, went to collections, repo, whatever, any of that stuff. Only open accounts. So yes, you may have been looking at accounts. I mean, you may have been using credit for many years, but if you've had accounts that are open and you close it or it gets charged off, whatever, that goes against your credit history. And with the credit history, it looks at all the open accounts you have, adds them all up, divides by whatever number, gives you an average age. That's your credit age. The older that is, the better off you are, and what points you get. But that is built up over time. That's you can't rush that part. So this is what people understand. This is why, like, if you get declined by something, by some algorithm or person, they'll say, yeah, your credit age is very low, and you'll be like, what? It's because you haven't maintained accounts keeping open for many, many years. You may have accounts that have been open for a year or two, and something happens, you don't pay them back. Tons of reasons. I'm not going to judge people, but I want you to understand this: that your credit history, the age of it, is affected by the fact that when you don't pay accounts back on time, it gets charged off. Or when you close a credit card account, and you don't realize this, closing a credit card account will cause you lose points because going against your credit history. Or two, your creditor will close a credit card on you when you have not been using it for like 6 months more, because they have to pay money to the credit bureaus to monitor, to report activity, and they're not going to keep paying money in an account that's not doing anything. So they're going to close it. Which again, you lose points. You can lose 100 points more. It goes against your credit history. So understand this. And at the day, I'm saying this again, it's about what makes up the score. What's on your report? How do you look on paper? That's what matters. That's what blenders are caring about. Again, you and someone else could have the same fucking score. It don't matter, because if your report shows you're gravy, you've been paying people back, maybe have late payment here, that's fine. But if it's mostly out, if your report is mostly positive, you're fine. Whereas the other person, where things look spotty, they're gonna go, well, we could give you this loan or whatever, but based on your history, we'll give you X amount at this rate, and they'll be like, take it or leave it, I don't care. And people get mad. Don't stay. I want to say this. If you get mad, use that anger to help push you forward to change things. Because part of here's the thing, people. Here's the secret to the algorithm of life, of manifestation and creating what you want. In order for you to really go after to change your life and to go after things that you want to do, you do have to experience some pain on some level. It doesn't matter what it is. And this is why people get sick and tired, because that pain makes you go, fuck this shit, I'm done, right? This is a whole new video. But use that anger as pain to launch forward, because as humans, you do more to avoid pain than to go for pleasure. So if you get pissed off, you got declined because your credit history, say, I'm done, I'm not taking this anymore, I'm going to take this pain, use it to launch, to finally make a change and finally understand credit and get it worked on, so I can play this game and come back and start getting approved for stuff that I want and need, and leverage this for the tool that it is. That's what I'm about. That's what I try to help my clients understand. Change this stuff. You can, you hire us, but it's fine. You're going to be okay. With that being said, I'm done. I hope this makes sense. Comment below any questions you got, thoughts, all that stuff. And if you like help with your own credit and get actually one-on-one coaching with this, hey, it's easy. Go to speakwithmatt.info. Again, speakwithmatt.info. The link will be in the description. And it's a free 30-minute call. We'll talk. With that being said, I'm done. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.